Hello and welcome to Mommy Consults. I am your host, Michelle Kay. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and this is a space where moms who want to be more mindful and intentional so they can build a legacy of wellness for their kids and the next generation. Are you a mom whose kid is starting to go to transition to kindergarten? Maybe it's your first time where you are now having your kid go into kindergarten. So, we're going to talk about like the top three tips that I have for moms who are dealing with this. So, the first tip that I always talk about is be prepared for all of the emotions that are going to start coming in. So the emotions such as sadness, anger, like any sort of grief that's going to start coming up, joy, be prepared for emotions of anxiety, all these emotions that start to come up. So you want to think about like the movie Inside Out. So imagine all these emotions are coming and you are dealing with that while your child is either, getting on the bus or maybe like when you're dropping them off. Sometimes moms feel like it's not natural that they're crying or they're very upset. But it is. I mean, this is a transition. So when it happened to me, I thought about it in terms of the stages of grief. So just knowing that, wow, I am now moving into a different stage of our lives. And we're no longer the pre K or daycare child that we had before, or especially if you were a stay at home mom and your kid was at home, that's a bigger transition for you. So you want to be kind of prepared. You want to understand if the emotions start coming up for you, that is very natural. And, you want to just kind of give yourself the opportunity to flush through those emotions. I always recommend things like journaling, really writing that down, talking with a mental health professional if you have a therapist, and being able to navigate those feelings, as well as maybe if you have a trusted friend or family, especially if you have another mom, that's even better to be able to navigate those feelings. The second tip that I always talk about is making sure that you take care of your self care. You can do this a couple of ways, but the number one thing that I recommend is if you can do a PTO day at your job, please take it. Or at least like clear your schedule for the day if you can. I know that everyone has different work situations, but if at all possible, like prep in advance for the emotions that you're going to experience that day. And take some time out for yourself and understand whatever self care activities are the best for you. If you want to go get a massage, like go do that and don't feel guilty about it because you need that self care for you. If you, for some reason, cannot get a PTO day and you have to work that day, I encourage you to maybe communicate with your supervisor. Hey, it's my first day of kindergarten for my child. Just so I might be doing this. I might be like in later. I kind of cleared my schedule a little bit, or I might be a little bit upset. So preparing your supervisor for that transition could actually be really helpful so that if something does arise that day, like your supervisor is not surprised or anything, they understand. And hopefully you have a great work environment where someone is supportive and able to, understand that. If not, like I again like schedule that if you already have PTO, just go ahead and take the day off. Most jobs do not ask you the reason why you're taking that day off. Just schedule it already and have self care that you want to do for yourself during that day. And sometimes self care is just like we talked about for the first step, just journaling your emotions, understanding what's going on for you, and just sitting with it, like maybe looking at some old photos of your child so you can take that time for yourself. I just want you to understand that it is okay if you do those things. And it is actually just recommended that you take that time out for yourself. All right. The third thing the third thing that I recommend is you want to plan how the end of the day is going to go. A lot of times we might plan like the beginning and be like, okay, I'm gonna get your book bag. I'm gonna make sure that we do this and that, and then you send the kid off, and then we go through the day, and then like we're like, I don't have no idea what to do at the end of the day. I can't process this. So it's encouraged to see if you can kind of make some sort of a plan for the rest of the day. And the reason why I say this is it's really good to maybe for our first day of kindergarten for our kids to actually have you both do something that you both enjoy or like, especially if your kid likes. So, an example for my little one, like she loves going out to I get some ice cream. So, we might do something small like that and go get some her favorite froyo and go and do an activity like that. Just you could even if you can't something that you can't afford is going to out to eat or getting ice cream. Could you like make that favorite meal together? Hey, I know you like pizza. Let's make some pizza together or make this meal that we really like to have together. Let's cuddle up and watch our favorite episode of Bluey, and of course, you're going to do this probably after you come home and look through their book bag and look through like if they have homework, they probably won't the first day. But making sure that you are taking some time, it's crucial that you have some conversations and ask questions to with your child. When we talk about questions with kids, we want to keep it really kind of like short and light and fun, like it's a conversation. You also want to use W kind of question to like what, who. Sometimes I find that parents are asking, like, did you have a good day in school? That's a yes or a no question. So that's not something that they're going to elaborate on or give too much information. So we want to have questions that give them a lot more opportunity to share. So some example is like, who did you play with, or who did you talk to in school? What did you learn today? That's a really great reflection question, too, as well. And sometimes, like, if you're really depending on your relationship with your child, it is important to maybe share feeling words. So, even sharing for you, I was a little nervous of you getting on the bus. What were you feeling when you got on the bus? And so you're giving it, an opportunity for open conversation to talk about your feelings and to talk about what happened. Of course, this does not have to be long, but you can give just a couple of questions and just to have that conversation. And better yet, if you can do it over the froyo that you're having. Our kids don't even realize that they're just eating their froyo, and you're like, okay, well, what did you do? Like, what happened? And of course, some of our kids can be a little guarded, but over time, if you have these type of conversations with your kids, they'll open up with you. And just leave that space by using the open-ended questions. So those are our top three things that you want to think about for your kids starting for kindergarten. So we'll just review it for a moment. So number one, be prepared for all the emotions that are going to come up for you. And just make sure you're prepared for that. And you even have something within yourself that you normally process your emotions. Maybe it's journaling, or something that you normally do to process your emotions. Number two is to make sure you take care of your self care, maybe by possibly scheduling a PTO day or having a light day afterwards. You're going to have all the emotions. And so we need that time and space for you to, kind of work through all of the self care things for you and your emotions. Three is you want to plan the rest of your day. So you want to plan and make sure of, okay, what am I going to do after school with my little one? And that will really help you to not only have those questions, that you talk about with them and talk about how your day went. But also, I think it'll be helpful for you, and it will be helpful for your child so that they can be able to process, even just within their own self, how their day went. All right. So, thanks so much for kind of joining us and talking about our first day of kindergarten. And just check out other videos that we have about back to school. All right. Take care, mommies.